The city buzzed with life, the streets alive with the rhythmic hum of car engines and the chatter of people enjoying a vibrant Friday night. On the corner of Main Street stood the Velvet Rope, the hottest nightclub in town. Its glowing neon sign reflected on the rain-soaked pavement, and the thudding bass of the music spilled into the night air. Outside the club, the line of hopeful patrons stretched down the block. Each person eagerly awaited their chance to step into the exclusive world behind the velvet ropes. Jamal Bennett adjusted the lapels of his blazer, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. Tonight was a celebration, a toast to his hard-earned promotion. As Jamal approached the entrance, the bouncer, a tall, burly man with a no-nonsense demeanor, blocked his path. "We're full tonight," he said curtly, crossing his arms over his chest. Jamal blinked in confusion. "But I have a reservation," he said, holding up his phone. The bouncer barely glanced at it before shaking his head. "Sorry, not tonight," he said flatly. Jamal's heart sank. He had spent weeks planning this evening, only to be turned away without explanation. The sting of rejection settled deep as he stepped aside, unsure of what to do next. From the corner of his eye, Jamal noticed a man in a tailored suit walking toward the entrance. His presence exuded authority, and the crowd seemed to part instinctively. As he approached, "Is there a problem here?" the man asked, his voice calm but commanding. Jamal's journey to this moment had been anything but easy. Born in a modest neighborhood, he grew up watching his parents work tirelessly to make ends meet. They instilled in him the values of perseverance, respect, and the importance of education. As a child, Jamal was a dreamer. He envisioned himself as a successful entrepreneur, running his own company and making a difference in the world. But the path to success was fraught with challenges. Throughout school, he often faced subtle but pervasive discrimination that chipped away at his confidence. Teachers underestimated him, peers made insensitive jokes, and opportunities seemed to favor others who didn't look like him. Despite these obstacles, Jamal excelled academically. He graduated with honors in business administration and landed a job at a prominent marketing firm in the city. His first few months at the firm were challenging. He often felt like an outsider in a predominantly white office. But he refused to let that deter him. Jamal worked tirelessly, pouring his heart into every project. His dedication paid off when he received a well-deserved promotion to senior marketing strategist, a role he had been eyeing for years. To celebrate this milestone, he decided to treat himself and his closest friends to a night at the Velvet Rope, a club known for its exclusivity and glamour. He carefully planned every detail, from his outfit to the reservation. This night was supposed to be a victory lap, a moment to bask in his accomplishments. But now, standing outside the club and facing rejection without reason, Jamal felt the weight of all the times he had been dismissed, overlooked, or judged unfairly. "Excuse me," Jamal said, stepping back toward the bouncer. His voice was calm, but there was an edge of frustration. "I'd really like to understand why I can't get in. My name should be on the list." The bouncer sighed, his expression hardening. "Look, I already told you, we're at capacity," he said. "But I see other people going in," Jamal replied, gesturing to the steady stream of patrons being let through the velvet ropes. "What's the real reason?" The bouncer smirked, his tone turning condescending. "I don't have to explain myself to you," he said. Jamal felt his hands clench at his sides. He was about to press further when the man in the tailored suit approached. "What seems to be the issue, Brian?" the man asked, addressing the bouncer. Brian shifted uncomfortably, his earlier confidence faltering. "This guy says he has a reservation, but I do have a reservation," Jamal interrupted, holding up his phone again. The man studied Jamal for a moment before turning to Brian. "Let me see the guest list," he said firmly. Reluctantly, Brian handed over the clipboard. The man's eyes scanned the names before nodding. "His name's right here," he said, pointing to Jamal's reservation. Brian mumbled something under his breath, but the man wasn't having it. "Care to explain why you didn't let him in?" The bouncer hesitated before muttering, Must have been a mistake. The man's jaw tightened. Mistakes like this don't happen on my watch. We'll talk about this later. Turning to Jamal, he extended a hand. I'm Ethan Morgan, the owner. I'd like to personally invite you inside and ensure you have a great night. Jamal hesitated, staring at Ethan's outstretched hand. Why? He asked, his voice quiet but steady. Why didn't he let me in? Was it because of how I look? Ethan's expression softened, and he nodded toward a quieter corner near the entrance. Can we talk for a moment? Jamal followed him, still unsure of what to expect. I can't speak for Brian's actions. Ethan began, his tone genuine. But I can promise you this isn't how I want my club to operate. This place was built to be a space where everyone feels welcome, no matter who they are. Jamal raised an eyebrow. And yet, here we are. Ethan sighed. You're right. I failed tonight, and I take full responsibility. But if you'll allow me, I'd like to make it right. He paused before continuing, his voice laced with emotion. You see, I know what it feels like to be judged unfairly. When I first started in this industry, I was just a bartender trying to make ends meet. I didn't come from money or connections, and people looked down on me because of it. I promised myself that if I ever made it, I'd create a place where everyone felt they belonged. Jamal studied Ethan's face, searching for any hint of insincerity. But all he saw was a man who seemed genuinely remorseful. Ethan continued, Brian won't be working here anymore, and I'm implementing changes to ensure this never happens again. Ethan personally escorted Jamal into the club, ensuring he was reunited with his friends at a reserved VIP table. The atmosphere inside was electric, with vibrant lights dancing across the room and the DJ spinning crowd-favorite tracks. But Ethan wasn't done. Taking the microphone from the DJ, he addressed the crowd. Good evening, everyone, he began, his voice commanding but warm. I need to take a moment to address something important. Tonight, a mistake was made at our door. A mistake that goes against everything this club stands for. The room quieted as patrons turned their attention to Ethan. This club was built on the belief that everyone deserves to feel welcome, valued, and respected. He continued, but tonight, we fell short of that. I want to apologize to anyone who has ever felt unwelcome here, and I promise to do better. Applause erupted, and Ethan turned to Jamal, offering a small nod of acknowledgement. For the first time that night, Jamal felt a sense of justice. In the days that followed, Ethan implemented new training programs for his staff, emphasizing inclusivity and cultural awareness. He reached out to Jamal personally, inviting him to be part of a panel on equity in the nightlife industry. Their collaboration sparked a movement across the city, with other club owners adopting similar initiatives to ensure fairness and inclusivity in their establishments. As for Jamal, the experience left him with a renewed sense of purpose. He used his platform to advocate for equality, knowing that even small actions could lead to meaningful change. Ethan and Jamal, once strangers, became partners in a shared mission to create spaces where everyone felt they belonged. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to Echo Tales for more powerful stories that inspire kindness, justice, and hope. Together, we can create a more inclusive world.